In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make great Twitter graphics completely for free. I create all of my Twitter graphics for myself and for my clients with a website called Stencil. And I've included a link for you in the very last lecture in this course, the resources lecture, that will let you get a Stencil account completely for free, where you'll be able to create up to 10 of these graphics every single month at no cost. So that link is for you in the resources lecture, the very last lecture in this course. So let's have a look at what you can do in Stencil and how you'll create all of your Twitter graphics. The first thing is, Stencil very easily lets you create graphics of exactly the size that you want. And to do that, all you would do, I've got a sample image open here of a restaurant. All you do is click on here, and this will open up all the different sizes that are available. So if you're doing a post to Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest, anything like that, all you do is click on the one. So if we're clicking on Twitter post, it will open up a graphic in exactly the right size that is perfect for Twitter. There are other options here. We're going to obviously look at Twitter posts for this course. But if, for example, you wanted to create an advert for Facebook, an advert for Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., there are again the perfect sizes for you there. If you wanted to create a header, either a Facebook cover for your Facebook page or a Twitter header for the top of your Twitter account, all of those again are there in exactly the right sizes for you. And if you wanted to create an image in a particular size, then you can actually add custom sizes in there as well. But for ourselves, as I say, we want to look at creating a Twitter post. So we're just going to click on Twitter post to open up the perfect size for that. Next, let's have a look at the main photo, which makes up the majority of your Twitter image. You've got a couple of different options here. Firstly, if you've got an image of your own on your own computer, so this could be a photo of your restaurant, a photo of a meal in your restaurant, for example, all you do is click on Upload Backgrounds here, and you'll be able to upload it from your own computer, and then obviously drop that on here, resize it, move it around, do whatever you need to it. The other alternative you have is to use images that Stencil has in its own library. It has over 750,000 royalty-free images. That means they're all here, they're all searchable under various sections and under various keywords. They're all usable by you free of charge for whatever purpose you need. So for your own commercial uses, etc., you have the rights to use these, download them, use them within your restaurant, on your Twitter feed, on your Facebook page, or anywhere you want them. So to use these, as you see here, there are some featured backgrounds, and you can scroll down and have a look at those. The other option you've got is to do a search. So if, for example, you were looking for photos of wine to make a quick Twitter post about your wine list, for example, you could just search on wine, hit return, and it will come up with the results. And as you see, let me just click on a few of these, you'll see them come up on the right here. So that one, for example, we just click on it, and there it appears. And as you see, if I just scroll down, there are lots of these results. It's just loading some more and more results. So there, for example, is just wine in a glass. As you come down, lots of other options, some more bottles there, etc. And there is some champagne being poured. Lots of different options that you would have, and you can use any of these in your posts. So if you were doing a quick post, for example, saying we have a new wine list, or our wine of the month is a so-and-so, you can of course upload your own photos if you want to, but for making a quick Twitter post, there's nothing better than just choosing one of their options here and adding your wording to it and make a quick Twitter post from it. Let's have a look at a few more searches that may be relevant to your restaurant. You could, for example, search on pizza. And as you see, dozens of different photos of pizza. You could just search more generically on meals. There's absolutely loads again that come up there. You could search on the word restaurant, and again there's lots of images that come up that might be useful to you, they might not. There, for example, a burger. Now I know these obviously won't look exactly like the food in your restaurant because this is not your restaurant. So some of these you may not want to use, but others you may just find useful to create a quick post when you haven't got a photo of your own that would be ideal for that. The other thing you could look at is different occasions. So for example, when it's coming up to Christmas, you could click on Christmas and there are lots of images that you could use to quickly make a Twitter post relating to your restaurant and to Christmas. The great thing I find with these images is it just makes it very quick. When you're looking to make a couple of images for your Twitter posts, you don't want to be spending hours creating them. So in here, it gives you a chance to very quickly find an image that you can use. You drop it in here and then create whatever you want for your post. So let's just come back again and find one that would be relevant to a restaurant that we can use in our next section. And let's have a look. Let's just choose this one for now, and then we can do the rest of our example with that particular image. Once you've chosen your background image, there are then a number of things that you can do with it. So to bring up the options, just actually click on the image itself, and that brings up this panel here. The first thing you can do is add a filter to the image. So for example, I could choose to make that black and white. Or there are a number of these different filters here. You could go through and choose any of those if you want to create a particular look with the image. For now, I'll just come back to having no filter on there at all. You could also do other things such as blur the image partly if you wanted to. There may be certain images where it just makes sense to do that. You can make the image transparent. You can make it lighter, you can make it darker. You could overlay a colour if you wanted to. So for that, you would choose your colour, and then as you see, that's got then a bit of a red tinge overlay to it. And then of course you could remove the background entirely or upload another one, which we don't want to do. But there are quite a few filters there, etc., that are useful just to make this a unique image just for yourself. So as you can see from the options we've got here, backgrounds is just this top item in the menu, and I'm going to go through the other items in the menu here. The one I'm going to look at next is logos, and I'll show you why. Let me just click on logos, and what you're able to do here is upload your own restaurant logo. I've got a couple that I've actually got loaded in here at the moment, and what this allows you to do is very easily overlay a logo onto any photo and any image that you're creating. And all you do, let's assume this one here was your logo. If you just turn this, click it and turn it on, as you see, it then appears here over the image we've just created. So just assume that this is your restaurant logo. You can move it around wherever you want to on the image. You can, just by dragging the corner, you can resize it, make it as large or as small as you want, so it just fits in with your image. Just by these sliders here, you can change the transparency of it if you wanted to. You can make it lighter or darker, and you could also flip it around horizontally or vertically if you wanted to. That, with your logo, probably won't make sense, but if you wanted to do that, you could. So all you do is upload your logo once. If then in this section you leave logo turned on, anytime you create a different image, your logo will always be there. And for most Twitter tweets you will create, you would want to have your logo in there because it obviously makes perfect sense for your branding purposes for your logo to be on the images you create. So we'll just leave your logo there in the corner. As well as adding your logo onto your image, you'll very likely also want to add some wording. And again, Stencil makes that very easy for you. All you need to do is come to the right hand side of the image here, and this second one down, which is a couple of letters, which is the add text button, and we just click that and it will drop some sample text here onto your image. And again, it will open up this control box on the left hand side. So what can we do with this one? First and foremost, of course, we can change the text to say whatever we want it to. So if, for example, we wanted this to say a dish of the month for October. So we just change that wording to whatever we want. If you want to change the layout of that and the size of it, you can just drag the box there. You can, of course, change things such as the text size. This here can just be dragged to make the text bigger or smaller. You can change the font. So instead of this one that came up automatically, as you see, it changed on the right hand side as I just move my mouse down here. So if, for example, you decided you liked the look of this one, you just click on it and that changes the wording. Now, of course, this doesn't really show up here, so you might want to change the colour of your text. So we just click on here. You can choose any colour that you like. So if we wanted it to be a light colour, we could choose that. You could come right down here and look at a whole rainbow of colours and choose exactly the one that you want. So let's have one that's whitish but with a hint of blue in there. So we choose that one as our colour. We then can still see this doesn't really show against the background. So what you could do is look at this here, which is drop shadow. So we could drag that across and it will actually give some background onto that. I still don't think that is quite right. We might want to possibly move it onto 2 lines. So I'll just come in there, bring it down to the second line. Let's increase the text size, because obviously what we want is for this to really stand out when it's on Twitter. So we want people to see it and take notice of it. So they're already seeing a good looking image in the background, they're seeing our logo and our wording as well. So what else could we do to change this now? Text size, we'll say that is about right. There's quite a space between these lines and we can adjust that by moving this line height slider here to get that how we want. To line this writing or this text up, if you move it across, you see how just there I get the little arrow that comes at the top. That is telling you that you are now lined up with the center of the image, so you know to have that there. I still don't like the color of that, so I don't think it's bright enough, so I want to brighten it up. There we go. So that is that. Let's just have a look at the other options you've got here. Let's come down these in order. So that is to choose your font, the size of the text, the line height is the difference between the 2 lines there. Drop shadow, you've seen me add the drop shadow in. With certain fonts you can make them bolder, you can indent them, you can have an underline, you can line them up to the left, the right or the centre. You can change your text colour. You could have an outline on these letters if you wanted to. So for example, there is a red outline of all of those. That's something, again, very simple to do if you wanted to, in any sort of colour that you wanted to. Remove that by just clicking the cross there. You can also, for your wording, have a background colour for the block of wording if you wanted to, just like that. So that is something that for certain images, on this one it wouldn't work, but you might want to have a block behind your writing. Again, it's very easy to do just by doing that. And then if you wanted to clone this image and make another one that was similar, you could just click clone and it will create another one for you. So you can see there the text options you've got are really useful for making some good looking images very quickly for your Twitter posts. So that's the wording. Let's come and look at the other options we've got here. Backgrounds we've done, icons and graphics. We click on there and there are just then over 200,000 little icons that you could, if you wanted to, for whatever reason, add in to your images. So you just click on one and it appears there. You can change the size of it, you can change the colour of it. There's lots of different things you can do. They're not something I use very often, but I just wanted you to see that they are here and are available for you to use if you want to. And again, you could search on here for something you wanted. So if you search for pizza, for example, that comes up with slices of pizza that you could add in to your images should you so want to. Next is templates, and this gives you some ready-made designs that you can use as a starting point for some of your images. So you could just choose any of these and click on it, and that will give you a starting point for your image. If you wanted to create a particular promo for something, then there are lots of different examples here, and obviously you can replace all the wording on these. You can replace the background image and things like that later, but it gives you a starting point for your Twitter tweets or for the other images that you want to create. We then have a new function within Stencil, which is the quotes function, and here there are over 100,000 quotes that you can use. And again, you can search in here for particular quotes. So if you wanted to search for quotes to do with food, or quotes to do with the weekend, or quotes to do with wine, or quotes to do with Christmas, for example, all you do is find a quote that you particularly like, and then to add it to an image, all you do is click on it and it will be dropped into your image just like that. And again, when it's there, you can change the font, you can change the colour, you can change the size, you can move it around. I mean, this one has actually got the quote itself and it has the person who made the quote there as well. So you could just drop that into your image. Now, obviously, I don't want it in this image that we're creating, so we'll just delete that and click on that one and delete it. There are over 100,000 quotes there that you can search on, quotes for particular occasions and particular reasons. So that's all the various functions. All you then have that you can add to that would be a button there to actually save this image. So it would just save it to your Stencil account, which means it's there for you. If you want to use that as a starting point for other images, that will be there for you. The other thing you want to do is download this to your own computer so that you can then add it in to your social account so that it can be in your tweets. And all you do for that is click on download, and it will then let you save it to your own computer as an image. So I hope you can see Stencil is a great way to quickly make really, really impressive looking images for your Twitter tweets. Now, as I say, I would fully recommend that you follow the link in the resources lecture, grab your free account with Stencil, and that will allow you to create up to 10 of these images per month. They do have a couple of paid options too, which are very cheap. In fact, I have an account which lets me create unlimited number of these images per month. And I use it virtually every day. I'm always creating new images for myself or for my clients. And they're so quick and easy to do within here. It really is the best way that I've found for creating great images for Twitter. And so I'm sure you'll use it just as much as I do.